Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Lisa with Lisa's Faith and Budget Planning channel. I'm excited to be here today. I am planning out for the month of June and I can't believe it's already here. This is crazy. I mean, the year just started and it's June and my son's junior year of high school is like gone and he's only got a few weeks left. He goes from September to mid-June, so it takes him longer to get out of school than everybody else. But yeah, I am super excited that June's here. That means it's sunshine and flowers and we can be outside and the world's a different place now. So it's not completely healed or completely back to normal, which I don't think it'll ever go back completely to normal, but I think things will definitely improve and be better in the new normal. So I'm excited about that. So what's happening here? Well, I already laid down my stickers for the month. I did use this time, I don't know if I have any out, Sarah Marie stickers, because I had some yellow ones left over. It closely matched the washi that I'm using for the month. I'm not a typical fan of yellow and green, but I wanted to put something like that in the shop because a lot of people do like those color combinations. So I found one that I really liked and I could really get into for the month. So that's what I wanted. And I wanted something bright and sunny and sunshine looking, and that's what these are. They're very, very pretty. Let me pull one closer to you on this calendar. And I do believe I have a release video on June. I can't remember. My weeks have been so crazy lately. I can't remember if I did one or not. I'm pretty sure I did. So if I didn't, I'll definitely get one up. But yeah, that is the flowers and they're beautiful. And I just felt like that was the appropriate thing for the month of June. Now you're going to hear possibly rain and thunder. It's storming outside. Today is the 29th of May and I'm late getting this up, but it's just life got busy. I just cannot believe nothing has slowed down, which is why I already have the stickers down. Now over here, I always put, and I usually handwrite it, but I thought, hey, when I created this sheet in the shop, it won't have these words on it. But I figured, hey, you know, these are my budget sheets. I can put this and type this in and not have to think about it. And so I went ahead and typed this in. What I have here is my income my husband brings in. He has a military retirement, VA disability, and VA education. My son pays us rent. He'll be doing that later today. That's why I haven't checked it off. And then my husband's going to have 2 salary checks this month. And I can put something other here if I need to. These boxes, these check boxes are printed on the page, which I thought was kind of cool. But it was something just for me. When I designed these sheets, it's just blank lines over here and nothing else. So you can write your own notes, you can put your own check boxes and stuff. I got a couple stickers here. I might go back and put a color behind the sticker. And then these are my expenses on my credit card. I have taken all these subscriptions that we have here that you see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's about $290 worth of, 100 of it is an estimate, but the rest of it is $190 worth of subscriptions or something that reoccurs regularly every month. And instead of having them all on here, I put them here on my Visa and I just check off when they come in. At the end of the month, I pay it before accrues any interest, as long as I don't use my Visa for anything else, which has not been working very well for me because things have been popping up left and right. And a lot of times I'll use my Visa to charge, and then I go from savings and pay from savings to my Visa because it's the same bank. Whatever it is I just charged, so I can pay cash for it without interest. So, you know, it can catch up with you if you're not paying attention or if you forget to do it. So you got to be careful doing things like that. But I wanted to keep the credit card active, and I did notice that my FICO score went up to 763. And I think this is May's monthly notes, April's note said 755. So because I'm actively having something go on the credit card and I'm paying it in full, it still brought my credit up. And it's one of my oldest credit cards that my husband and I have had for a while. I'm on there. And so that kept our score up, which is really good because if we ever need to move and we want to buy a different house or downsize, keeping that credit score working for your advantage, and staying out of debt is probably the hardest thing to juggle, but the best way to juggle it. And it gets you loans easier and lower interest rates easier and things like that. So that is why I do that. I don't want to. I feel like I have to play the game, and I hate playing games. And they seem to make us do it. So this is already filled out for the month of June. We're doing a plan with me on my monthly budget. So what do I have left to do? Well, what I have left is this. This is how I write out my monthly budget. And that's what we're going to work on together. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and pop these sheets out, zoom you guys in, and go over what we're spending for the month. There's some different things this month. I actually have an AMCO or AMCO charge where I got oil change, and then I'll talk about some other charges that are coming up for vehicle maintenance that was not expected. I found out about yesterday. So it's going to be another busy month. So I'm going to be right back. Okay, I am back. So you're going to notice here, there are like 10 lines for income. I do not sell my budget sheets this way. I do this for my personal self. I just adjust, just like I did the calendar, I adjust my budget sheets to work for me. But in my shop, I give you 6 lines. Most people don't need 10. Or they combine totals together and then put that down. But I like writing it all out. For whatever reason, I confuse myself if I don't, and it's just who I am, and that's what I have to do. So my shop is actually called Lisa's Faith Budget Plan, and there's a link to the shop on Etsy in the description box below. So if you want to check it out, or you're interested in these budget sheets or any of my other budget sheets and designs, I have plain ones, and then I have one for every month that's new, just a different pattern in the back. The only time I actually put the actual month on my budget sheets is the calendar page. The rest of the pages just happen to say budgets or weekly check-in or whatever. So you can use them once, and download them once and use them for every month of the year, or you can buy them monthly with a different design if you want something different, or whenever you feel like. So I have these budget sheets available. Go check them out and see what you think, and leave me some feedback. I would love to hear from you guys if there's something different you would do. But just to let you know, only this one looks like this. I printed this myself and made room for all my husband's income, different things that come in throughout the month. And some of it is already shown up even before the 1st of June, mainly because Monday is a holiday, the 31st, and he gets government checks, and you'll see that here in a second. And those government checks have to be paid on the business day before the holiday, which was Friday the 28th at midnight, going into the 29th Saturday. So when I woke up this morning, these deposits were already in our checking account, but I'm not going to use them till the month of June. What I am using is the money from May that was already in the checking account for May's budget. So the first thing we have is, what I always like to do is balance forward what I had in May and what I closed out May with. And I closed out May with, let me pull my notebook just for a second, because, okay, so it's going to be $588.91. So I think I'm going to have to angle this a little bit, so give me just 1 second. Okay, I'm back. So like I was saying before, $588.91. That is what I'm balancing forward, or some people call it a rollover, from my Paycheck 3 closeout for the month of May. This is what was sitting in my checking account for the month of June before all the new money came in. So this is what was in the account. Technically it was more, because not everything's cleared just yet, but it will, and it balances out, so it's not a problem. I like to compartmentalize the income and what period it will be working with, so that I don't make a mistake in how we're spending our money and over budget or under budget anything. So the next thing I put is my husband's military retirement. So military retirement, my husband served 20 years in the Navy, so he gets a retirement check every month. Taxes are taken out in the state of Virginia, and we also have medical, vision, and dental taken out, and we have, I think, SGLI, which means we have to pay into something for X number of months. I don't know the number of months that we have to pay into it before I can get benefits if he passes. So if my husband passes, I get 55% of that retirement check after he passes. So it continues even after he's gone. That way I'm covered even if he has passed on. So right now we are receiving $1,497.18. Retirement checks vary depending on how long you served, what rank you were. My husband was a first-class petty officer, so if you look at this, I think that's an E6. That's the lowest ranking. So this is like a minimum you would get for retirement and pay your medical through and that insurance through. So this is basically the minimum. I think it's $2,000 what he gets a month, and cost of living adjustments also happen, but this is what's left over, and that's what goes into our bank account. So the next thing he gets is VA disability. This is medical. After he retired from the Navy, he went to the VA, and they x-rayed him from head to toe and came up with how much damage did the Navy do while he was in for 20 years and what was their responsibility and what was his. So he gets compensated $2,160.18. That is what he's getting for VA medical, or not, VA disability, and that is just compensation for wear and tear of the body, the mind, everything, mental health, physical health, with serving our country. So I am thankful and grateful that we do get these cash deposits and that he is being taken care of this way. We get this the first of every month or just before the first. VA disability can change, and it does get reevaluated from time to time, but for the most part, I don't think my husband's will change because they're kind of permanent disabilities, and they're not going to get better in the future. Let's see. VA education. My husband is working on his master's degree, and he is getting education benefits while he's earning his degree. And he already has his bachelor's. He finally finished that, and then he's got 5 classes left for his master's degree. $733.20 is what he's getting this time. Next few months, he won't be getting anything because his job is taking him out, and well, not taking him out, but he has to travel for business, and it's so much so that he cannot work on his classes, so he's going to stop the classes for a little while, and then when he gets back, he'll start working on them again. And he's got 5 left. He'll get them done eventually. He's not in too big of a hurry, but at the same time, he's kind of ready to change careers. So, and God's faithful in that, so that we're just trusting God in this. But this is what he's getting this time, and then we'll skip a few months, and then he'll start getting it again. And once he's done with the master's degree program, he's done with his VA education benefits for himself. He doesn't want to do any more after that, so we won't get that anymore. Rent. My son pays us rent. He has autism, and he cannot work out in the community, so he gets supplemental security income, SSI, and he gives us $664 of it. He keeps $130, and we take that from, paying for things and food, groceries, and it kind of gets redistributed throughout whatever we're paying our bills on. But we also pay out of pocket for medical for him to continue to go to TRICARE, where we all get our medical with the same doctor. So we prefer to pay out of pocket for that, and that works for us. And then I'm going to put /dividends. So dividends is just our credit union giving us pennies, having money in the account. And like last month, it was 2 cents. I'm like, okay. So because this is always 0, I add the dividends to it later and put it as an actual. It's not that big a deal. And this time we're going to have a travel deposit. So what I'm going to be doing is transferring funds from our savings account, and my husband and I have put away $800 for travel expenses, and I'm assuming we're going to be putting the first deposit in, which is $250, into our budget so that when my husband makes that $250 transfer, he can just transfer it right out and it's good to go. That's the travel expense deposit. He does get reimbursed for that when his paychecks come in, and then I'll make the adjustment back. And it's just moving money back and forth because it comes out of our pocket first and then it comes out of the company's pocket and we get it back. So there's that. And then vacation, education, savings. So what I'm doing, not vacation, I want a vacation apparently, a VA education. You know what? I'm not supposed to write that just yet. I'm coming up. That's actually an expense. So what I plan to do, and that's why I love this eraser on my pens. They don't do a great job, but it's good enough and it makes me happy that I can get this cleaned up and still use it and not have to start all over and print this all over again. That would be aggravating. Okay, so this would be salary. And I'm looking at my notes over here. So I have two salary checks for my husband's job this month. And those are $2,313.28. That is what I budget for. If you watched any of my other videos, you would have heard me talk about how they overpaid us in January. They still haven't taken the money out. They tried to, and then it didn't work. They took it out and put it back in again, and I don't think they realized they did it, and we keep telling them, and they're not doing anything about it. So I left a couple blank spaces in case refunds or something else happens. I do know in July they're going to start doing a child credit, $300 from the government. Everybody's supposed to get. I don't know if we qualify for it, but if we do, I can add that to it later. I don't know what I'm going to do with it because I don't know. I kind of feel weird getting it because we are consumer debt free and we have good money coming in. I don't know. It's weird. What are your thoughts on that? I know a lot of people need it and I'm thanking God for it, but at the same time, I don't know how I feel about it for myself. So if you have comments or questions on that, please let me know. I would love to talk about it in the the comment section, or you can email me. I would love to hear from you guys. So here we go. We're going to start the expenses. So what I'm going to do here, and you're going to see me kind of write all the expenses, change sheets, write the expenses, and then we'll go through how much everything is together. So I'm going to fast forward through this part and put some music on it. I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. So I've got all the words I need to write down. There was quite a few of them. And I realized I wrote something twice, so I'm going to have to double check my budget. But I definitely am excited about this because this is going to keep my mind straight on what I need because of the changes coming up. And there's a couple things I actually forgot. Let me write them down real quick. AMCO. And Visa charges for Nissan. So, and I'll talk about that in a minute. I forgot to write those down. When I did my draft budget, I didn't know about those things. So that's why it's great to have a draft budget ahead of time, but at the same time to get all the basics that happen every month. But then things are going to pop up, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But travel expense, I knew this before the draft budget, so this was kind of interesting. When my husband travels, he has to pay for his own food and traveling stuff, and usually it's a one-time transaction of $250. So I put up here, I'm going to transfer $250 out of savings and put it into our checking account. And then my husband is going to take $250 out of our checking account and put it where he needs to. And then when he gets his next paychecks, then we can put that back into savings again. VA education savings. So my husband, when he gets VA education deposits for his master's degree program, he and I agreed a long time ago when he started getting these deposits that he would get them. That would be his money. So on some months you'll see Visa Go Card. and he'll get $100 or $200, depending on the month and how much we have available. But when he gets VA education deposits, unless the family needs it, he doesn't get personal money with the Visa Go card. He gets the VA education deposit. So I'm going to take that back out, and because he's going to be gone, I'm going to put that into savings. So I'm going to put the $733.20 into savings. And then we have our mortgage, which is $1980.06. And that will be changing and probably going up because of escrow. This includes the principal, interest, and homeowners insurance. And I believe our property taxes are going to go up significantly because the value of our house has gone up significantly. I got something the other day and said that the bank thinks our value is at $280,000. We bought the house at $230,000. So we've had a significant jump in our values of our property because the market is so hot. And so I think we may have to pay more into the escrow to pay for the property tax. That will be in August. I'm guessing last year it was $410 that we didn't have enough in escrow. This year, I think it's going to be closer to $1,000. I don't know. This is our first home, and this is the first time dealing with it, but we're going to be prepared, and I'm not going to worry about it too much because when my husband travels on business, he gets overtime, and we're going to use that as part of the property tax. Jim is Greater Europe Missions. It's a tithe to a missionary couple that we absolutely adore, and we send them $231.75. Actually, part of that pays for the processing fee, 3%. They get $225, and then the processing fee we pay for. And then our church, we give Helping Hands, and that is $200 for those in need in our church and our community. They take care of, maybe a financial thing. If their car broke down and they need, like mine, needs a new starter, they can contribute money. Or if they need, washer or dryer, and they can help purchase things like that, or buy food or diapers or whatever is necessary. Somebody's house catches on fire and they need things. The church can use this money to purchase and help in our community. Natural gas dropped drastically because we're not heating our home, and that was $47.98. There we go. Humana Health. This is my son's insurance for TRICARE, young adult, and that is $459. Though my son has autism, we are not his guardians, and he could potentially work one day, but it's just very hard to find the right fit for him with his autism and all the things. So we decided not to take his independence away because of that. So he has to pay out of pocket for insurance. So when he pays us the $644 up here, we just apply that to his insurance right here, and we're fine with that. We really didn't want to charge him rent, but he cannot have more than $2,000 in his checking account based on the rules of the Social Security Administration. So we charge him rent, and that's what we're paying for is, whatever's left over goes to groceries or whatever. Geico, let's see, 107.43. Now this is for my entire month. So as I keep going, this is not one check. This is like the entire month's check. So all the checks that are planned to come in and what we plan to spend. So $55 is what they charge for cutting grass. Property tax. So you saw me roll over or balance forward here, $588.91. That was to cover the property tax. So really, I didn't take any money from May to bring it over into June. I just knew the check I wrote for the property tax, which is our vehicle property tax. We have a 2010 Jeep Wrangler and a 2013 Armada Nissan, and we paid here in Virginia $588.88 in vehicle property tax. Which baffles me. I still don't understand why we have to pay property tax, but we do on things we already paid taxes on when we bought it. I don't get it. Anyway, I'm not going there. So Verizon Fios, that, let's see, property tax. That's the last thing. I'm looking at a list over here. Yeah. So Verizon Fios is $82.71. That's our internet. I'm thinking about the router that I have, seeing they have a newer, updated router, because we've had this one for quite a while and we rent them. So I want to update that. Electric, I already know what the bill is, and this gas bill is exactly what the gas bill is. We get it early, and the only thing I don't know will be the city utilities bill, because this is the month they don't charge us a bill with a bill. We pay every other month, but I will be making a payment regardless because that's how I do it. $116.30. Obviously we're running our air conditioning a lot, and unfortunately my husband overheats very easily, and we keep our house 68, 69 degrees. So freeze people to death. Tithe is $310. Life insurance for 4 people, I have $87.56, and then Vivint is $56.46. And that's just for the service. All the equipment's already paid for, so this is just what we have to pay monthly to keep the service. Sprint, I'm going to guess at $290. It was $289 and some change last month, so I'm just going to put $290. And then, let's see, $55 for Boss Land and Lawn. This is somebody from our church that comes and cuts our grass. I just love the name that he gave, so I like writing it out. Here's my other sheet, because I need 2 pages, and that works for me. Let's keep going. So sinking funds. Now, I'm going to write the full amount and budget the entire amount of sinking funds that I need, and that is going to be $480.66. And then I have, let's see, what's next? Tithe, $310. City utilities, I'm doing $200 because we're filling up water in our backyard pool. It's one of those intakes that you can that you buy at Walmart, and you just put the poles up and put the liner down, and then there you go. We take it down every year. But we're worried it might have a leak, which kind of stinks because we got a lot of water in it, so we might have to pay more. I don't know what we're going to do, but we'll figure it out. Visa subscriptions and Hopewell. So this is something new. Now, you saw the subscriptions in, and I wonder if I have it on the back of the sheet. You do. So you saw the subscriptions listed here on my calendar sheet, and this is true. But I'm also adding Hopewell. Hopewell is a Christian counseling ministry, and my husband and I are going to, if you watch In My Faith stuff, I talk about that all the time, that we're constantly working on our marriage and improving and healing and moving forward in life, and we need a little extra help. So we went to our pastor, they recommended this organization, and they don't take insurance. That way they can keep the faith that we have. Like, we pray when we begin, we pray when we end. We can talk about God freely, and when you have insurance companies covering things, you can't, there are restrictions to that. This helps override those, what did I say? There's certain things you can and can't say, and then, you know, in order for insurance to cover it. So, we really wanted something like that was faith-based, that was aligned with our faith, and so that's what we're doing. And we so far have enjoyed meeting and talking with this person, and it's a great organization. So I'm really happy that we're able to do it, and I'm happy that most of our debts, you know, all our consumer debt is paid off, so we can do that as an option, and I thank God for that. So I am budgeting for the month. I flipped the page over, I didn't mean to. For our subscriptions and Hopewell, and I think I did 4 sessions of Hopewell, $730.83. So that should cover everything I need for the Visa, as long as I don't put anything else on, which I will have to put something else on, and you're going to see that down here. I'll talk about it in a minute. And then Boss Land and Lawn, I think there's 3 grass cuts this month. I'm not sure. Something along those lines. So grocery household, I keep going back and forth on how much I want to spend. I'm going to budget $1,000 like I normally do because my husband won't be home. And so hopefully I won't need more of extra food. I'm not using HelloFresh for the next foreseeable future because I use it for me and my husband, and he's not going to be here, and I don't want to cook that much food and him not be here. So that should be enough to cover. $6.50 is going to be way too much for me mostly. So I probably won't use all this, but because I always budget this high, I'm just going to leave it in there in case birthdays and celebrations and stuff, I can use that money. $5.50 is miscellaneous, and then gasoline. $2.50, I will be traveling and driving to see my parents on my dad's birthday and my son's birthday and celebrating all the things, and my sister's flying in town with her sons and husband, and it's going to be exciting. So we're excited about that. I'm not going to put anything here just yet. I'm going to see what the balance is down here at the end of the month when we have our actual column, and at the end of the month I will decide what goes into, if anything, emergency fund savings. Now, because I added so much to Hopewell, $440, $550, it's $110 a session. If we go once a week, depending on 4 or 5 week month, that's eaten away at our emergency fund deposit that I was making in previous months, which is fine. That's what it's there for. You can adjust higher or lower for what you want to put into savings, and we put a good amount into savings. So if you've ever checked out in my sinking fund savings videos, you'll see how much I actually have in there to the penny. So we're pretty good on that, and I still will keep putting money in with the overtime money. I just don't know what it's going to be until the paycheck gets here, and I never budget for overtime. I just budget my husband's salary, and I base all our purchases or our bills on that salary. I don't, just because he has overtime, don't count on overtime, because you never know if it's going to stop abruptly or if you can keep up with it or whatever. So I know I will be able to put money into the emergency fund. I just don't know how much. AMCO, which I forgot to put on my list, and my Nissan. So let me see if I can find that. I will be right back. So I did find my AMCO, and I have 90 to 74. So I had to get an oil change. And in my Armada, it takes 7 quarts of oil. So it's a lot of oil, and it has over 100,000 miles. So I have to get the high synthetic and all that stuff, which I don't mind. It takes care of the car. So I had the oil change done. And then leading up to the oil change, I asked them to check out the starter or check out what would cause, is it the starter? Is it something else? My car, when I would turn the key to start the engine, it wouldn't start. And then I go back and I turn it again, and it started. So occasionally it would do that, but not all the time. And I couldn't find anything wrong, so I took it back home. And so that's just for the oil change there. And then on Sunday, that was Friday, on Sunday, I did it again, and the car didn't start. And then it started. And then it happened again on Monday. And then it happened again on Tuesday. And so when it happened on Sunday, on Monday morning, I decided I'm going to call Nissan dealership down the road from me and have them take a look at just that problem. And so they had the car Thursday, and they couldn't get it to not start. And then they tried again on Friday. They kept it overnight on Friday. And eventually at some point during the day, it didn't start when they tried it. And then they tried it again. It did start, and then they waited a little while longer, and then came back and did it, and it wouldn't start at all. So they knew it was the starter, and the starter needed to be replaced. And he quoted me a price, I got written down right here, $1,145.24 plus tax. Whatever tax is. I don't know. I think it's 6%, 8%. I'm not sure. So I'm going to do 0 here, because I know it's going to happen. I want a placeholder for it. And when the actual happens, I'll do the actual in the income section, and I will do the actual here in the budget section for the expenses. and those two transactions will cancel each other out. Just like the travel expense, I'm moving from the savings, which I'll probably add this and this one at the same time. And these cancel each other out. This deposit will cancel out. You know, I just moving money around is what I'm doing all over the place. But it's a way to track it, because if you don't have a plan for your money will always have a plan for you, and you may not know where it's going to end up. So we got to be careful of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tally all this up, and I will be right back and give you the numbers and show you where I'm at for the month. So I will be right back. Okay, so I have in total expenses, and I'll go back and show you what the total income was. But it looks pretty good. $9,970.56 is total expenses for the month, and total income for the month was $10,520.03. So I'm gonna make this negative. I'm gonna hit the plus sign because I forget sometimes, and I'm gonna add that together, and that gives me, oh, not a lot of money left over at the end of the month. So that gives me $549.47. But this is just an estimate. So I'm going to go ahead and break here. I'm going to zoom out and put this in my notebook, and I will close out this video. So I will be right back. Okay, I am back. So I have my entire budget for the month of June laid out, pen and paper, estimated deposits, estimated expenses, and or budgeted deposit, budgeted expenses. Basically, it's an estimate. Even if you know for sure the dollar amount, it's still an estimate until it happens. So this is kind of where I'm at. So it's going to be a pretty tight month, but I'm not too concerned because I do know part of the month my husband will be traveling on business, and he gets overtime for that. I'm just not considering overtime until overtime actually hits his paycheck, and then I can sort out the money from there. And that's why I separate my husband's paychecks. I always put his salary as the budget, even if I know it's going to be a lot more than that. I won't put more than his actual salary after taxes, after Roth is paid and things like that, anything he has deducted from his paycheck. This is what's left over. This is his net income, not his gross. So this is what comes in. And I won't budget more than that until I have the physical money in the bank account. Then I'll put it as the actual, and then these numbers will change all over again. I am so glad that I started budgeting this way, because the way pay gets changed sometimes and things happen and they're irregular, even slightly irregular, it throws me off. And so having this budget just keeps this all in perspective, and I don't lose money by accidentally overspending or underspending in certain areas, or just don't understand why my budget's not working. This is a great overview. And then as transactions happen, I can just go ahead and start marking them. Like right now, I can actually put military retirement and fill this out. I'll do it later, but I can fill this out. I can fill this out, and I can fill this out, because those 3 deposits and this balance forward already happened. Because my husband got paid early, I can go ahead and put it down now. It's part of June's budget. It's already physically in the bank account. And that is what I'm working with. So my next video coming up will be me setting up paycheck 1 and budgeting for that, and going from there. And then I'll have a paycheck 2 and a paycheck 3. That's what I'll have for the month. So that works for me. And yeah, this is just a lot, but I'm glad I do it. And I'm glad I separate these out. And if you see my budget sheets and you want something a little bit different, or you want me to do something like this for you, you can always email me on Etsy, and I can make adjustments on what I already have, kind of templated already for my budget sheets. I wouldn't mind doing that at all. Just a little adjustments to make, and for your personal budget. As far as everything else, I would keep the same as far as what columns and things like that. But if you just needed more room for income because you have so much income coming from different places, YouTube and Facebook Marketplace and, Etsy or whatever your different streams of income, if you have multiple ones, I definitely can adjust that. So I hope you like this video. I know I did. It's definitely eye-opening. I was like, wow, okay, I have a handle on the month now. So I hope you like this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and help my channel out. And if you want to see more budget videos or faith-based videos, please subscribe to my channel. And I will see you guys next time. Have an amazing and blessed day. Bye.